Hey, goodness to you. And I say goodness, not knowing whether you're watching in the AM, the afternoon, or the evening. But isn't it wonderful to be able to put good in front of a greeting? This is Sporty King coming to you live. I'm on Facebook early. My broadcast will be at 1 o'clock. This is Glue Wednesday. But I'm going back to the original, just using Facebook Live without having it streaming in from a different type of technology. Because Daphne, and Victor, a couple of people had mentioned to me last week that they was having trouble with posting or commenting or something like that. So I decided, let me go back to the original source and just try that one more, not one more time, but just see what's going on. So I see there's one person on, if you want to drop something in the comment, that way I can see that quickly. I just now figured something out. All right, all right. Okay, because that's one of the things that like I said, I'm getting reacquainted with the old the original Facebook and Facebook Live. So we're gonna see how well I do with my broadcasting on that. Cool in the gang? Works for me, works for you. Okay, so we've got less than 4 minutes to go for today's lesson, for today's session. But if this is your first time on Glue Wednesday, and remember, it doesn't matter whether you're watching it in a live broadcast or if you're watching it as a video, because I still want you to be interactive. Today is my interactive day. But Glue Wednesday was born from, how people always say that Wednesday is hump day. And because, see, old school rules, see, in old school, we just said, hey, you work Monday to Friday or the weekend. So Wednesday was hump day, the day they got over the hump toward the weekend. But the truth is, there's always been flex time. There's always been flex time, and people have always worked all different kinds of shifts. So, but Wednesday is the middle of a traditional. No one says there's no such thing as Sunday to Saturday, a traditional 7-day week. So Wednesday is the middle of that traditional week. So I say, let's take away the connotation of hump, excuse me, and the need to get over, and look at Wednesday as the day that keeps the week beginning and the weekend together. So ooh, it's the glue. It's the glue, because that's what we need to do, is keep it together, not tear things apart. So let me throw that. I can put that in the chat there. Why it's called Glue Wednesday, and because the glue is God's love undoes everything. And see, I have to relearn how to do captions, but in the meanwhile, I'll put stuff in the chat and we can be even more inactive. We got less than 2 minutes to go for today's session. So we'll see how that goes, but so far so good. It's just me right now from what I can see, but at least now I know that I can type right into the comments. So if you type a comment in there when you get on live, then I'll be able to respond and be able to do that in real time. If you're watching the video, there's still going to be a need for you to type in the comments. So be ready for that, and then I can come back and respond to what you add in there, because I'd like to use that. I think I'd like to use it next week. Okay, so just so you'll see when we get to that. Okay, but we got, like I said, we got less than 2 minutes to go for today's message, and to give an update, by the way, things are going great with my knee rehabilitation, and we got less than a minute. My knee rehabilitation is going good. I traded in my original knee to get a 2021 model, and so far it's working well. I even did some walking today, and this week will be my last week with my in-home therapist before it's time for me to take full charge of the rehab and getting the knee back into nice functional shape. But of course, the joke there is that it never was. It's always been a bad knee technically, but it's now it's working. It's going to be a good knee. Okay, so I'm real excited about that. Okay, but I'm also excited about getting our lesson session going today. So I'm going to go on and get that started in just another 20 seconds. Man, yeah, welcome back to the original Facebook Live. Whoever you just came on, throw something in the chat and let's get you a shout out. One thing I noticed, I don't see the thumbs up emojis or anything like that. So if you reactions, oh, okay, yeah, I don't see any of those. I don't know if those will pop up um, during this, but it's 1 o'clock, so let's get started. Hey, as you can see in my intro, I put today. Yes, it's we're rolling into the holiday season. A lot of people are posting jokes about, hey, get away, Christmas. November's not over yet, right? So we're rolling into the holiday season because we're blending Thanksgiving right into Christmas. Because even the Christmas, right, the day after Thanksgiving is Black Friday, where we start the sales on Christmas items, right? So we roll Thanksgiving right into Christmas, and then in there is a mix because Hanukkah starts after Thanksgiving and before Christmas. It's in between, and then Kwanzaa starts on Christmas Day and ends on New Year's. So yeah, so there's a lot of blending, or does Kwanzaa start the day after Christmas? See, culture check. We'll know in a little while because I'll check that when I get off. But anyway, so we're blending those holidays into, and everybody's in a celebratory mood. So I decided today I'm going to talk about celebrating. And I've decided to break celebration down into three things. I want to break it down into fun, joy, and impact. Fun, joy, and impact. Okay, so as you saw in my, well, you saw my promo, but what you didn't see fully, I'm going to also connect those to scripture. So first, let's look at fun. Fun is FUN. Friends understand needs. Friends understand needs. And the reason I chose that, the reason I have that affirmation as friends understand needs, because we have to recognize that friends don't have to be perfect. They have to be perfect for us, and they have to understand us. So Deuteronomy 14:26 through 27 says, when you arrive, use the money to buy anything you want, an ox, a sheep, some wine or beer. Then feast there in the presence of the Lord your God and celebrate with your household. And do not forget the Levites in your community, for they have no inheritance as you do. So this is telling the Israelites when they get to the promised land. But did you notice they're saying when you arrive, celebrate with those who know what you've been through. Celebration, that's friends understand needs. Celebrate with those who know what you've been through. You all really know why you need to celebrate. And it's similar to how I always say, I don't know I've never been in your shoes, but I've sat in your row. So I know why we're celebrating, and that will make our celebration even stronger. And because think about it, why are you trying to celebrate with people who tolerate you when you could be celebrating with people who enjoy you? And that's what happens a lot of times is we're so busy being politically correct, we're celebrating with people who tolerate us instead of celebrating people who sincerely enjoy being with us. Me, I am not worried about celebrating with somebody who tolerates me. I'm not. And a lot of people will post those types of things, oh, I don't care what anybody thinks about me, and then wonder what they felt about what I just posted. No, celebrate the people who celebrate you. Friends don't have to be perfect. Friends just have to be perfect for you. And so that's why FUN is friends understand needs. And that becomes who you want to celebrate with and why. Okay? So, and that's what I would want you to do is whether you're on the live broadcast or visiting through the video, who do you celebrate with? Who do you celebrate with? Put some names in the comments. Just one or two names, and then that way, if you put at and their name, then this will send that broadcast to them to let them know that you celebrate them as well. Or if you're going to be having some fun with them. All right? Friends celebrate. Oh, what did I do here? Okay. All right. Okay. Let me see. Does this work for me? Yes. Next. So that's fun. Friends understand need. Next, I want to add. Oh, did I do that? Um, there it is. I never sent showed you that, but friends understand needs. The next one is joy, Joy. Just one you. As you're celebrating, each person is celebrating on an individual basis for a collective happiness of which you're celebrating one another. But there's something about each one of you that you bring to that celebration to help lift the other person up. So Nehemiah 8 and 10 through 12 says, and Nehemiah continued, go and celebrate with a feast of joy, I'm sorry, with a feast of choice foods and sweet drinks, and share gifts of food with people who have nothing prepared. This is a sacred day before our Lord. Don't be rejected and sad, for the joy of the Lord is your strength. And the Levites too quieted the people, telling them, hush, don't weep, for this is a sacred day. So the people went away to eat and drink at a festive meal, to share gifts of food, and to celebrate with great joy because they had heard God's words and understood them. See, when you hear God's words and you understand that you're celebrating with people who love you, who have something in common with you, that you have a common reason for celebrating. So celebrating God's words can be as easy as saying good morning, or as I like to say, goodness. You know what? That's a celebration because it lets someone know that there's a good going on in their life. And they can look at the things that they may have been feeling down about and say, wait a minute, there's some good to this, because things work out for the good of God. Not many things, but all things work out for the good of God. So therefore, that's what you want to do. And no one can celebrate like you. And that's why it is the joy. So joy and fun, and that's, as God intended, are important parts of celebration because they lift our spirits and help us see the beauty and the meaning in life. That's why we choose our messengers carefully, because once we choose our messengers carefully, now we know again who we're celebrating with. Wait a minute, let me see if I'm getting a comment. I'm on. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, I was just checking to see because I don't see any comments in there, and then that's one of the reasons I came back to. So I'll have to see. I hope this thing is even working. Y'all know I say I'm technically functional, not literate, so I'm hoping this thing is working for us, and it should be. It should be working for us, because it usually does. All right, but where was I? Where was I? What was I talking about? Okay, I'm talking about how important it is to recognize that choosing our messengers carefully helps us have fun and helps us celebrate the joy that we bring to other people. And when you add up the fun and the joy, you get what? You get impact. 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 And impact is I make people act courageously and truthfully. That's what I see. That's what impact is for me. I make people act courageously and truthfully. Deuteronomy 20 and 8 says, then the officers will also say, is anyone terrified? If you are, go home before you frighten anyone else. And see, think about it. That's the impact that you have. If you're terrified, it impacts other people. And so that's what we've got to do. Recognize sometimes what we've got to do is get away from negative spirits, because sometimes that's all that's really happening is someone has a negative spirit and it's bringing you down. I'm going to try something right here and see if this thing works. Okay. Let me see. Open card. Did that work? Let's see if it came to the thing. No, I didn't see it. Okay, so I'm going to just keep doing what I was doing. Don't worry, you don't have to know. All right? But just oh, what is this? Get out. It wasn't working. Your public profile. Crazy. It just now showed. Oh, I wonder. Okay. I wonder if I don't know how that thing works. I'll have to figure that one out, y'all. But you know what? I might go back to that because that is kind of what I was looking for. Is one of the things I want to do is have you finish this sentence, and I'm gonna click it up there again and see what happens because that was kind of cool. It might end up working. All right, and this is what I want you to do. I want you to fill in the blanks on that sentence. Okay, and that is I impact I make people act C and T. So fill in the C and the T for how you make people act. Okay, that's your impact. What's the joy that you bring to people's lives? So fill in your C and T. And that's what I say I want to be able to use next week or in a future broadcast to talk about, just show so much of the joy and the impact that we're conscious of. I make people act courageously and truthfully because my inspiration makes them act courageously because I uplift people, and then truthfully because I help people not only be honest with others but honest with themselves. So that's what I see as my impact. What do you see as your impact? How do you make people act that begin with the letter C and the letter T? And that's what I want you to put in. If you can't put it on that thing, put it in the comments so that we can have it in the comments thread. All right. But think about it. How do you draw people? How do you help people draw? People draw something from you. What is it that they draw? And that's what you need to know. All right. So that actually is pretty much my broadcast for today because I didn't have anybody in the live feed, which throwing in some comments and stuff that we could talk about, and so we will have to see how this experiment worked with using the original Facebook Live dashboard. So again, if you're watching the video, please still put in there how you impact people. Just fill in that C and T. Let me put that in there again for you. I make people act C and T. Do you help people act carefully and trustingly? Think about what words you can use that begin with the letter C and the letter T that show the impact that you have on other people's lives, because you have to recognize that you definitely have an impact on other people's lives. Thank you for tuning in. This is Sporty King with Glue Wednesday, reminding us that we don't need to hump. What we need to do is keep it together. Let's keep it together by sharing one another's positive spirit and helping one another move forward. Have a wonderfully safe Thanksgiving. My broadcast next week, actually, I'll be traveling, so I'll be broadcasting long distance, and I'll let you know where I am, when I log on. All right? Over and out. Ciao.